this is how I'm feeding my brand new sourdough starter for its first loaf. Okay, if you just finished my class, you probably have a larger amount of starter. So this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna take about 2 tablespoons out of your jar.
Put the leftovers in an airtight container in the fridge for discard recipes or throw away.
And put it in a bigger jar. Unless it's already in a big jar, then you can leave it. I ended up feeding mine and putting it in a clean jar, and I just fed it a tiny bit. So I only have a couple tablespoons in here. I measure in cups, so if you're planning on doing your loaf in grams, you'll have to do the conversions. So you all should have already found a recipe. So going off that, however much starter it calls for. So if it calls, my recipe that I use, it's pinned to the top of my page if you need it, calls for 1 cup of starter. So we're gonna feed this 1 cup of flour. Whatever you have in the jar is gonna be fine. So I'm gonna do 1 cup of flour and a 1/2 cup of water. I'm gonna put the water in first and mix that up because it's easier to stir the flour if you already have the water in it. Now I'm doing this in the evening and my starters usually rise pretty quickly. So I'm using cold water. And I'm gonna put this in the coldest spot I can. I'm gonna put it like in a cabinet to where hopefully it won't double and already fall before morning when I'm ready to mix my dough. So I'm gonna add my 1/2 cup water and give that a good stir. If you wanna feed in the morning, and that's what I normally do, but I wanted to get this video out to you guys, so I'm doing it tonight. Make sure you do it early enough that you allow however long your starter is taking to double in size. Actually, however long it's taking your starter to peak. You wanna make sure you feed it that far ahead of when you plan on starting your dough to bake. Because you don't wanna start your dough until your starter is at peak. Also, something else, I do not plan on this being that great of a loaf. A lot of first loaves, since they're brand new starters, they're not gonna be perfect, but hopefully they'll be edible and a fun process. So if you don't get a perfect first loaf, do not get discouraged. It just takes some time for your starter to get it good and established. Okay, now give that a good mix, and we want this to be thick. Basically, we want it just like our starter was. You wanna make sure all the flour and water are very well incorporated, making sure there's no dried flour. Okay, this looks perfect. See how thick this is. I also wanna remind everyone, I do sourdough very simple. So if you're wanting to get fancier and like sell it, then make sure you're trying all different recipes, and you may want a scale so you can be more precise. Because literally this is gonna probably be the most simple sourdough my way, because I'm not off ratios. I'm kind of doing ratios in my head, but I'm not going off all the different lists and things like that. You don't wanna close this airtight because we wanna leave it out so that it can rise overnight or during the day if you're doing it during the day. So I'm gonna use a shower cap to cover it. If you have a lid, just lay a lid on it. I just don't have one clean. Make sure to put your rubber band or piece of tape or hair tie or something on it so you can watch for the double tomorrow morning. So and then tomorrow morning, I will show you what it should look like when it's ready. I'm hoping tomorrow morning I can show you what it looks like when it's ready. If mine rises and falls, then the video may be up a little later because I'm gonna have to refeed in the morning. But I'm hoping it'll work with me putting it in a colder spot. So that is it. That's how you're feeding. Ask me any questions and I will try to be active tonight responding to questions. In the meantime, keep feeding your starter until you're ready to do this. So if you're still new and your starter's not established and ready, it has not doubled 3 days consistently in a row and it's not bubbly, don't do this step yet. You have to wait till it's good and established. Otherwise your loaf will not turn out. Okay, ask any questions in the comments and I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. And by the way, I'm sorry I've been MIA. My husband is killing me. We're working on landscaping and hence the Christmas shirt. I just threw on the first thing I could find and I am tired. So we've been shoveling lots of stone and dirt. We've been busy. So thanks for your patience with me, and I'll be back tomorrow to show you what this should look like when it's ready to start mixing your dough.